All right, what is up, guys? We are doing a live stream. We are gonna look at talking about Vietnam and what's going on here. Some questions from you guys. I know you guys have a fair bit of questions. Just give me a sec. I'm gonna try and share this Q&A out to some of my friends out there. All right, let's go. Let's go. All right. So I got a few questions, guys, that a few people sent me. They want to know stuff about Vietnam, and I've got a whole list of questions that I'm going to go through. But I'm just messaging a few friends because I know they have a few questions as well. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the stream. Post any questions you guys have about travel, about Vietnam, about what's going on. Hey, what is up there? Dep Chai, handsome pigeon. How you doing, fellow YouTuber? So yeah, I've got a few questions. The first question that I've got here is, what's the situation in Vietnam in regards to CV and lockdowns? At the moment, there's an outbreak that's happening in some of the major cities: Da Nang, Ho Chi Minh, Hanoi, and a few provinces around Hanoi. They've closed down one province. I think it's called Bắc Giang, Bắc Giang, where you can't even go in and out of that province at the moment. So they've closed that down. Hey, what's up there, Izad? How you doing, brother? So that lockdown is happening right now, man, and it's spreading. The CV spreading in that province. It's probably like about 10 or 20 k's away from Hanoi. So most of the shops, like restaurants, bars, are closed in Hanoi City. Schools are closed. There's no school, and they've even closed down the Grab app, so you can't even get a Grab taxi. You can't even get like a Grab motorbike or anything like that. Which is, yeah, which sucks, but you know, it happens. Luckily, I've got my own motorbike. So the situation here, yeah, the outbreak is like, it's increasing here. So I'm not actually quite sure how long that's actually going to last or what, but there are a lot of concerned people out there. Update us on the pandemic in Vietnam. Yeah, so I'm just giving everyone an update on the pandemic. What X brand oil is this shizz? What X brand? What, yo, that X brand oil. Oh, back in the video there. That video that I'm showing you guys is of Vietnam. It's like some of the places I've been to in Vietnam. That there is Phu Quoc Island. That oil actually is an insect repellent. It's like a flower insect repellent on there. So I'm just traveling around Phu Quoc. So you can see that just over here. And over here I've got a list of questions. So that's pretty much the situation with CV and lockdowns. What's going on? Nah, it's from your video just now in the store. The X brand oil is good stuffs, man. Ah, I think you must have been talking. Was it the green one? I think the green one was the Tiger Balm. I think it's called Tiger Balm. A lot of foreigners like the Tiger Balm. They put it on and it smells so that the mosquitoes like go away. But it's a real popular brand here, that Tiger Balm. I think I've got one lying around here somewhere. Not really. It helps with your migraines. Yeah, they've also got a small green one. There's a small green one that you can inhale and it clears your nostrils and everything like that, which is real good. Yeah, Tiger Balm helps with muscle relaxing and stuff like that. Haven't been in the cities for the past few weeks. Watching you in the jungle. Have one bar on Vital. Where are you streaming? Yeah, I'm in Hanoi now. So I'm back in Hanoi. I came back like a week or 2 weeks ago. Back into Hanoi. Hey, what's up, Kiwi guy? This Tiger Balm guy. So I came back here 2 weeks and I've been just editing every day, editing. But what I do want to do is work out a list of these questions, as you can see just down here. You can see a list of the questions. So I've given you guys a bit of an update on the lockdowns here. Next question: when will Vietnam allow people to come into the country again as tourists? So there's no indication at the moment if that's going to happen. I have no idea when that will happen. Some say next year, but with this outbreak that's going on right now, I think it's highly unlikely unless people vaccinate, which is what they're trying to push. They're trying to push the vac out, and Vietnam are giving out free vax for people that want to take it. So as far as getting tourists to come in here at the moment, I don't think it's going to happen this year at all. At the moment, they are only allowing experts, specialists, investors, government agents, and the locals to come back. Tourists, not at the moment. So I'm not quite sure when that will actually happen, guys. Tell us about your status and situation now, bro. Yeah, hey, this Mana the Kiwi, look at this guy. Mana the Kiwi. You can actually hear him. This guy. This guy. So, yeah. So let's get back to currently Singapore is on a mini lockdown. Now, if you want to enter Singapore, you have to produce the negative swab test result. Yeah, so you need to produce a PCR test. That's the test that is the normal test now for CV around the world to go into countries. You need to have that negative CV test, whether you are local, permanent resident, or foreigner. Yeah, it's the same here, but they're only allowing specialists, investors, and locals back. So if you're a tourist and you want to come here, at the moment you cannot come here. And even if you are, like I'm here, but if I leave the country and try and get back, I won't be allowed back in. You have to take 2 tests, PCR and rapid antigen test. Yeah, oh wow, so they're really going hard out. So yeah, that's that question, guys. Let's go to the next question. What's the weather like there now? The weather at the moment, it's moving from winter into now winter. There's basically 2 seasons: dry season and wet season. It's pretty much gone from winter. We're now in spring. As of the next couple of days in June, we head into summer. And in summer is wet season, typhoons, rain. The weather changes, man. It gets quite flooded in some places like Ho Chi Minh City and some of the low-lying areas in Vietnam, but it gets real humid. That's the thing, man. It's the humidity that's like really putting a lot of people off right now at the moment. I had mine once I touched down. Swab through the throat and then the same swab take through the nostrils. Oh man, yeah, they poked that thing right up there. Yeah, it's pretty weird. Are foreigners' visas renewed getting denied? We'll get to that. We'll get to that. Man, I smell coffee because I drank in flight. Oh yeah, tell us about the visa status. Okay, firstly, okay, let's save some of these questions and let's jump to the visa status question. I've got that actual question down here somewhere. Visa question, where is it? There we go. What is the situation with visas in Vietnam? I see a lot of foreigners panicking about the situation there. Okay, so the gist of the matter right now is that there have been major elections going on here in Vietnam. And basically when election times happen, it's like one faction coming in, getting newly elected, and ousting out the old faction. And if people don't know here in Vietnam, and people don't know around the world, but I've heard from the underground that a lot of these factions, they actually have interests in visa agencies, and those visa agencies are kind of like their back pocket on the side, their back pocket business. And now that the new faction is coming to take over, the old faction that actually own a lot of the visa agency businesses are now been cut out and taken out of the picture. If you've got your visa from those agencies, you're going to get affected. If you get your visa from the new agencies, all good. So there's a political flexing going on. I would call it political flexing. That's what's actually happening right here. And it happened in China too. I had some friends that were in China. It happened in China, the same thing, where there was a lot of political flexing going on. Tourists were kicked out. Foreigners were kicked out during a time of political changeover. And it's kind of happening here, but it's coming from the underground. Not many people know, but I'm in the know, and I don't want to reveal too much. All I can say is it's like two lions. You've got the male lion and, you know, all his females, and he's in charge of his territory. A new lion will come in, a younger lion, stronger lion will come in and take over and oust out that old lion, pretty much. That's kind of, if you can look at that analogy, that's pretty much it. And so the businesses with the old faction, they have their businesses, visa agency businesses. Those are actually also being overtaken. And so people that have got visas with those groups. Now I don't want to go too much into it, but if you get the meaning, you get the gist of it. So, and it's weird because people that are on tourist visas right now. So let's go all the way back to March 2020, when the actual CV outbreak and the CV mania took over the world pretty much. March 2020, Vietnam went into major lockdowns. Tourists that were here at that time were told that they could extend their tourist visas every month freely, and they did. And every month, at the end of every month, the G, I will call government the G will say, okay, we'll give you another free extension for the next month. So tourists will have a free extension. Then at the end of that month, the government will say, okay, you can't go back to your country, there's no flights, okay, you know, there's outbreaks happening everywhere, you can stay here another month, we'll give you another free month extension of your visa. And this happened back in March 2020. That's when it started, and it's going all the way up till now. We're in our fourth outbreak here in Vietnam, and what's actually happened now is that if you've seen in some of my previous vlogs, you would have seen me go up into some of the northern areas of Vietnam near the China border, and you could see in my last two videos how easy it is for people to cross and illegally migrate into Vietnam. Just got to swim 40 meters across the river and you're into Vietnam, or you just walk up through a path in the forest leading to Vietnam. I mean, you can see those in my last two videos. And so because illegal immigrants have come into China, these visa agents have been sponsoring these illegal immigrants and giving them visas to actually stay here, even though they're illegal immigrants. And so there's also been that major crackdown that's been going on. And so what's happening now is it's kind of in a major chaotic state because there's an outbreak happening at the same time, there's a change of factions happening at the same time, so there's a whole bunch of stuff that's in the mix at the moment. And so people are being affected, especially the foreigners that have been affected. And I've heard stories of people that are on their tourist visa and they've been freely extended, they go to extend it here now and they actually want to pay because it's around 90 US a month, and they've been told no, denied, so they have to leave. People that are on business visas that were actually getting their business visa from these visa agents. The visa agents actually were using shell companies to sponsor and unsponsor a lot of people with business visas as well. So there's a major crackdown going on, man, a huge major crackdown. And so I just want to give you the story first, guys, so then you can make up your own mind and decision. And so people who are on business visas are affected, people who are on tourist visas are affected. I mean, you can even check some of the forums. If you go to like Vietnam Legal Group on Facebook, if you go to Vietnam um, Visa group on Facebook, you'll see the chaos there. All the people, foreigners complaining, hey, I've got my visa denied. They want to kick me out today. I need to sell all my stuff. I need to leave. If they don't, they're going to fine me. And so it's quite chaotic at the moment. It looks quite chaotic at the moment. So there's a lot going on, man. So getting back to these visa agents that are kind of like the back pocket of the higher up G's. They have been sponsoring and unsponsoring a lot of the foreigners, and so now they've been affected. They've been denied, but it's weird because I've heard stories where people have got all their documents and they're all legal and legit, yet they're still getting denied. And then I've heard stories where people have don't have all their documents, but they're getting approved. So it's like, man, what the hell's going on? So mass confusion, and I think the feeling from the expat community here is uncertainty. What's going on is uncertainty, but there's a whole mix that's really happening around this visa situation here. I don't want to go too much more into it. I'm just giving you kind of like an overview on what's going here. A lot of people are really like panicking, man. A lot of people are panicking right now about this whole situation. So let me just read through some of your guys' comments. Just talked about your tests. So, man, I can smell coffee. Yeah, I got a lot of questions, man. People have been asking these questions on my Facebook and everything like that. Yeah, good going. I'm good. How you doing, Chibi? Makes sense. Coffee money for newly elected leaders. Yeah. I don't want to go too much into the whole faction thing here, man, because yeah, it can get quite sensitive, and I could get red flagged and shizz like that. So I don't want to be you know what the weird thing is too, guys, and I'll tell you this is that I'm switching to a well, I already had my business visa, but I'm getting my visa extended, and I gave my passport to my employer last Tuesday, and my visa actually expires today. So I rang her up yesterday and said, hey man, what's going on with my visa? Is it getting approved, or what's the situation? And she goes, yeah, it's getting approved. You'll get your passport back and everything next week. And I'm going, what the heck? So there's a whole bunch of uncertainty. So even today, man, I'm just going, what the hell's going on? I could be getting kicked out as well. I've seen Chinese just walk into Vietnam on northern borders since there's no border guards. Exactly, that's what I'm saying. If you check out my videos, my previous videos, you'll see when I was at like Bang Sok waterfall, how easy it is for people to just swim across, man. In fact, there was a guy on the waterfall who walked from the Vietnam side and he walked onto the China side, and then he was fishing on the China side. I'm like, what the heck is going on? And the rafts from the China side would actually come right on the shore of the Vietnam side. It was weird, man. And then when I was by myself in a place called Pac Bo was the first place Ho Chi Minh came back and rested from his overseas trip, and it's right next to the Chinese border, man. And like, there's actually a path that goes in the hill, and it said border. Did it say border ring? Yeah, it said border ring, meaning the border's just nearby. But there's a path leading to it, and no one's around, no guards or anything, man. I'm like, holy crap, they need to fix that up, man. I'm nominated, but the dates don't do me a favor. Are you going to get the VAC? You guys going to get the VAC? No, I haven't got the VAC at all, man. I haven't got the VAC. And I'm not actually... So I've been doing the research. I'm not confident in the VAC because of the side effects at the moment. And I know that, you know, VACs need to take time. They go through certain stages first. and so I'm not confident at the moment in the vac. I think it's just a major push by vac developers for profit at the moment, and I've seen a lot of casualties around the world from the different vacs. At the moment, the best thing that I'm doing is just eating healthy, exercising, leveling up my immune system, and just, you know, being like healthy, trying to stay healthy, eat well. So that's the best you can do, man, is just do that, and worry about your own health, you know, so that if you have a low immune system, and you know, you come into contact with people that are sick, whether they got the flu, a cold, or whatever, you will most likely get sick. So you need to have a good strong leveling up of your immune system. So that's what I'm doing at the moment myself. And yeah, I don't think I'll get the vac at the moment, even if it restricts me from traveling. I'm not that confident in taking it at the moment until I actually research more. And yeah, there's a lot more to it than just trying to take it. Most people that are taking it out of fear. They're taking it out of fear because it's restricting them from work, it's restricting them from travel, it's restricting them from doing things that they would normally do. And you know, when you are in that state of fear, you will comply and you will do those things without doing any proper research. And there's also a lot of sway of opinions that have been pushed hard by mainstream media, big tech as well, for people to take it. And I'd say the ones that will profit off it the most are the ones who make it, man. They're making billions of dollars off a situation, and that's how it is these days in the system. I mean, if you have a problem, you need to create a solution, and if you can profit off that solution, that's great. I mean, that's why they have treating and not cures. Treating is ongoing profit making, whereas cures, you can't make profit. That's it. So uh, that's another thing I want to talk about later on, but for now, I gave you a bit of an update on the visa situation. And yeah, I'm still waiting for my passport to get back from my employer. And yeah, it's weird what's really going on at the moment. But you know, worst comes to worst, if they say I have to leave, hey, gotta leave. But that's all good. I've got plans in place on what I'm gonna do. I do love, and this is another question that someone asked me. They gave me a lot of questions that people asked me, even about teaching and stuff. What was that question that they asked me? It was to do about Vietnam. I mean, I can pump out some of these questions, guys, because they seem. Let me just check your guys' questions. If you have any questions, just hit me up, man, and let me know. It's really hard to get time slot for vaccines, even if I get one. By the time I hook it, it's already taken by someone. Really? Okay. Yeah, look, I don't need to run to China. As I said, I love Vietnam. There was a question that someone posted, but I don't see it now. Where the heck is it gone? Where's that question gone? Give me one sec, guys. Ah, no, that was about teaching. I think the question that they asked was, what things do you like about Vietnam? Things I love about Vietnam, guys, is firstly the nature vibes. I love the nature vibes, the forests, the mountains, the caves, the rivers. It's just magical, man. Magical here. And the waterfalls. I love those vibes here. They're awesome. And the food. I love the food. I am pescatarian, so I'm a vegetarian who eats seafood. So I don't eat chicken, pork, beef, or anything like that. But in terms of the food that I do eat here, beautiful, delicious. I go to a lot of vegan restaurants. In fact, I'm going to look at vlogging a lot more vegan restaurants. I know a lot of people like that, want me to do that, and I will do that in the future. And the other thing I love about Vietnam are the people. Man, there's really good, genuine people here, and especially people that are out in the countryside and in the rural areas that have little. I find the ones that have little actually appreciate what they do have and are really genuine, man. And they live off the land. You know, that's the vibe. I'm into that vibe, man. And, you know, they're sharing because they share what little they have with others. And it's different from people that are actually living in the city. In the city, it's like every man for himself, man. And so you're in the state of what I call perceived scarcity, meaning you've got to get whatever you can. It's like, you know, it's like vultures. You know, you've got a carcass there, and all the vultures trying to get their piece of the pie. It's kind of like that I see in the city. Whereas out there in the countryside and out in the rural areas and the highlands, in the nature vibes where, you know, those people are, man, what little they have they really appreciate, and they're very innovative too, how they create their own like irrigation systems, crop systems, harvesting and that kind of thing. And I'd love to do more vlogs about that and head out into those areas and do a lot more vlogs. So yeah, the people, love the people here, love the nature vibes here, love the food here. And I would say the woman here, very very beautiful, lovely woman. And I say this in a good way. They are very obedient, meaning they're not lippy. They don't answer back. You know, they'll cook for you. They're very family oriented. I mean, if you were single and you wanted to come to Vietnam, I think it'll be easy for you to pick up a beautiful Vietnamese woman here if you're a male. Anyway, let's look at some of your guys' questions from Mr. Chibi. Lucky did. If a Boeing airplane takes 2 years to make and it was made in 2 weeks, would you fly it? Haha, same goes with vaccine. If it takes 3 to 5 years to make and it was done in 6 months, let others be test subjects. I think that exactly that. That's what I'm talking about. You know, I've done research, and yeah, I'm not keen to take something that's rushed at the moment that I know a lot of people have had side effects of, and I know a lot of people have actually died from. But everyone's got their own decision. But I'd say the majority of people's decisions to take the vac is based on, I would say, social pressure, and I would say circumstantial pressure. Meaning, if they don't take the vac, they'll lose their job, or they'll lose their status, or they'll lose their freedom to travel or freedom to jump on a bus or something like that. And it's happening, man. It is happening. So yeah, all I can say is for people to like eat healthy and just level up your own immune system at the moment if you guys can. USA has vac enough for entire population, but only 35% take it. Yeah, man, 65% don't, and it's free everywhere. Yeah, it's not quite popular. You're right. You were called into one of the test subjects for a vac to cure CV, where they have to put me in isolation for 3 days. Really? Like, you take the vac and then you got to go into this like isolation for 3 days first? I asked them what happens. I have side effects, and they told me that they will take care of me, and I'm like, that's it. Will there be any compensation given if things go sideways and they can't assure anything? With these companies that create these vacs, there is no liability. They actually have signed non-liability to take any responsibility at all for anything. So you can't sue them. You can't sue these vac companies, man. They're protected. They are protected. That's how it works, man. Will be any compensation? No. I would say now no one is needed to wear a mask in USA once you're vaxxed, but I'm not sure how are you gonna verify that. Exactly. If you were to see the USA now, man, a lot of people are like living life as per. Exactly. The funny thing is that it happens in China too, as I have my friends staying there. Yeah, I know. It's pretty crazy what is going on at the moment, guys. But So this update, man, I just wanted to give you an update on like, yeah, what's happening with the visa situation here. Let's go through some more of these questions. Will you be traveling around Vietnam soon? Yes, once I get my passport back, I'm going to avoid the provinces that are infected, and I will do some travel. I had planned to do travel with my with a group of teachers here. We're all employed by the same company, and we're looking at heading up to Sapa. I've never been to Sapa, but Sapa has Fansipan, one of the most beautiful mountains there, and I wanted to go and check out that northern western side of Vietnam, like Ha Giang and a few other places up there. So that'll be happening soon. And then I want to go back down towards there's a place called Quay Ngon, Quay Ngon, Quay Ngon or Quay Ngon, however you say it. Beautiful, next to the beach, just north of Nha Trang. I want to go there, do some vlogging. So yeah, I've got plans to do more travel around Vietnam if I remain here. That's the thing, if I remain here. Okay, what's the food like? Are there any vegan or vegetarian options? I think I briefly touched on that before. There are lots of vegan and vegetarian options here, especially in Hanoi, man. There's like lots, but those places are closed for sit down. They are open for takeaway or for order. So the Grab drivers, they can't take passengers, but what they can do is they can transport food now. So they do mainly just orders for people, food orders, and a lot of beautiful food, man. Vegetarian food is awesome here in Vietnam. What is the situation with marriage in Vietnam? Can you marry a local easily? So it's actually quite easy. The thing is, it's quite easy to marry a local here. Just need to get done a few bits of paperwork and boom, done. And I think it's cheap. I think it's like a couple of million Vietnam dong, which is like $100 or something like that. And so if you meet a girl and dating her, and then you're falling super duper lovey-dovey with her, and you want to marry her, that can be easily done. Usually, culturally, you got to go and ask the parents' permission first. So you have to go and ask her parents if you can marry them, and if they check you out and see that you got what it takes to look after the daughter and be the husband, then you're pretty much all good to go. Just go to the office, get your paperwork done, boom. And they do love celebrating weddings here, so you got to put on kind of like a big celebratory party ceremony type thing. I've been to heaps of weddings here, lots of weddings in Vietnam, man, and they're pretty cool because the food's free. They've got beer, rice wine, and they all want you to drink with them, and it's a lot of fun. Then you jump on the karaoke and you sing, and you're seeing like 80-year-old Vietnamese men trying to do the break dancing. It's quite funny actually, and it's quite cool. I really enjoy it. But yeah, the women here are like, yeah, awesome, beautiful, and there's a lot of them that would jump at it. There's a lot of them that would jump at like at you if you're a foreigner, especially if you're a foreigner, because they know they want to have a better life. I've got a couple of questions from some other friends. What do you think tourists will find interesting about Vietnam? I think the thing they will find interesting about Vietnam is some of the ways that they do things. Some of the ways Vietnam do things, I think. I mean, I don't want to say it in a derogatory way. I'm talking about like ways they communicate. I would also say ways they perceive people, ways they perceive cultures. It's different. It's different here because Vietnam's a developing country and there's a lot of potential for it. But there is, I would say, a narrow perception about some things. And yeah, I don't want to go too much into that because it can get into all sorts of like contrasts. But I will say that yeah, there are some interesting things on how Vietnam differ from, say, your Western country. It is different, and I think a lot of that is culture and environment, the way that they've been brought up, the beliefs that have been instilled in them compared to the beliefs that have been instilled in you through your developed country. So Yeah, it's different. Hey, I love Vietnam, and I love the people here. You know, I love the people here. And how they think is up to them, because everyone thinks differently and has their own normal way of life, you know. And I'm not too judgmental on that, only if it affects myself or if it's a threat to myself. Another thing I think that people will find interesting about Vietnam definitely is the nature vibes here. The nature vibes are like really different from a lot of places I've seen, man. You can go up north where it's like really, really cold, and lush bush, forests, mountains, all the way down to the south, down in the bottom of Vietnam, where it's kind of like deserty, or beaches, blue beaches. It's kind of like different. The nature vibes are different here, so I think people will find that different. How long does a tourist visa last? A tourist visa lasts now 30 days, 1 month. You get a tourist visa for 1 month. I've got a friend who's just got people like giving me heaps of different questions, major different questions. If you want ugly girls, go to English Learning Center. Hot girls are the massage places. uh, this guy, actually, to be honest, man, there've been some pretty awesome looking English teaching assistants. A lot of them are young too, around 18 to say 22. Want to get some Viet girl, eh? No comment, no comment. Oh, you got Vietnam friends? Okay, that's good. That's good, bro. Yeah, I think Vietnam women are much better than Western cultural women. Western women have been brought up in this mentality of I want, I want, I want. But not only that, just some of the ways they talk back. A lot of Western women talk back. They trip out far too much, whereas the Vietnamese women, and I say this in a good way, are obedient, very obedient in a good way, meaning that they're very family oriented. They, you know, they're from the heart. They will do the best they can to support you and do what you want to do. They're there. I think that's the really great thing I love about the Vietnamese woman, and you know they deserve to be loved here, the woman, man. And I think all women across the world, honestly, need to be loved more better. Okay, DJ Wiz, how the audio with the Rode Wireless mic in post edit? The audio, yeah, I like the audio with the Rode Wireless mic. I've got the Rode Wireless mic up there. It's pretty good. What do you guys think of it? Because a lot of the time, latest vlogs you've seen me, I've been actually riding on my motorbike, and I've actually had the mic here, and it's got a wind muff here, and it's actually a transmitter, and the receiver is actually on the camera, which is good. So it hasn't been too muffled. Only when I've been going really fast. I think I've been going like 60, 70, 80 Ks. You can hear a little bit of the wind. But I tell you what, it's really, really good. Holy crap. Oh, look at that stud. Okay, a couple of more questions from a few of my friends. What are the best places to visit in Vietnam? Okay, some of the best places to visit if you're new to Vietnam, definitely check out Ha Long Bay. Beautiful, awesome place. If you're into caves, you can check out Quang Binh. There's a place there called Phung Na. Phung Na has got one of the biggest caves in the world, but that's going to be expensive getting in that big cave. I think it's like 3 or 5,000 US dollars. But there are other caves in the area you can go to. Ninh Binh is near Hanoi. It's like I think a 2-hour trip south of Hanoi. They've got a massive like temple and pagoda there called Bai Ding, and you can go into that pagoda, and they've got like caves there. You can go on the lake. Oh, sorry, on the river. The rivers go under or through caves, so you go through 3 caves on a riverboat, and it's rowed by women. All the rowers are women, and they row with their feet. and that's at a place called Tam Kok, which is in Ninh Bình. So that place is magical. If you're into beaches, go to Phu Quoc. Some of the beaches, like here, here, you can see that beach. This is Phu Quoc. So you can go to some of these beaches, and that in the far south, beautiful beaches. Nha Trang is another place. It just depends on what you want to do. It just depends on what you want to do. I love going to all the different nature places all around, man. Okay, some more. How can a tourist get a visa to enter Vietnam? Do they apply online or get a visa on arrival? At the moment, there are no tourists. No tourists are allowed any visas now at the moment to get in. But what used to happen was, you could, if depends on your country. So if you're from, say, New Zealand, Australia, you could get. Well, actually depends. If you're from the UK, I think you get an automatic. You can automatically get a visa waiver. So you can come in without having to have a visa because you've got a UK passport. There are countries that have a part of the visa waiver program with Vietnam. Unfortunately, New Zealand's not part of that program with Vietnam, so I have to actually get a sponsor, like a visa agent. I will call them vagents. I got to get a vagent to actually give me a letter, sponsor letter. Then when I arrive in Vietnam, I take the letter to immigration check it over for, I think it's like 10-20 minutes, and then they stamp a visa in your passport and you're good to go pretty much, which is weird because, as I said, a lot of those visa agents, they actually supposed to give you sponsored visas, but actually they're unsponsored because they're using shell companies. So people that are now using shell companies for visas are being kicked out because of this changeover that's happening, this massive changeover that's actually happening. Okay, what's another one? Is the language a barrier or challenge in Vietnam? I mean, I don't think it's a barrier. I mean, I use Google Translate a lot, but I can understand the basics now. I think if people can understand basics, like things like how much is it, how are you today, thank you very much, that's too expensive. If they can say that in Vietnamese, I think those basics are pretty easy. You can converse easily with people. Sometimes the Vietnamese will just ramble on and you don't even know what the heck they're saying. But I recommend people to actually stay, who want to stay to learn the language. I'm actually going to be taking some Vietnamese classes. And I've got friends that are Vietnamese, but they teach me all the swear words and stuff like that, and firstly they told me all the swear words to say, and they said, this actually means hello, how are you? And I go and say it to someone on the street, and then they're laughing, and the person I say it to is about to like beat me up, and I said, what did I actually say? And they said, oh, you're an F-wit, or you suck. And I'm going, man, why do you teach me all those bad Vietnamese words? But I want to actually study and learn Vietnamese. So there's a few people offering classes and stuff like that I'm going to look at taking in the future. How can one find a job in Vietnam? Okay, so it depends on what you want to do. If you are wanting to teach English, you can go to lots of Facebook groups to do with Vietnam teaching. Just put Vietnam teaching into the search on Facebook and you can check out all the private groups there, join them, ask questions, and there are lots of people that are looking for teachers at the moment. In fact, organizations are now, this is that word, sponsoring you to come to the country, and then you get your work permit through them, your visa through them, your what they call TRC, temporary resident card, and you can stay here and work here pretty much. But I think they've restricted that now because of what's going on, because of this whole visa situation. But before, you used to do that, and there's lots of work going on, man. Lots of work for people in Vietnam. And the average wage here is like roughly $20 an hour, 20 US an hour. New Zealand, I think that's around 30 New Zealand bucks an hour, which is pretty good. And you could be working like 6 hours a day and 5 days a week, man. You could be actually earning between 4 to 5 USD a month. 4 to 5,000 USD a month. It's a lot of money, man, for staying here because it's so cheap here. How do you change a tourist visa to a working visa? It used to be that you could actually do that through an agent, but now they're restricting that now. They're restricting it because of what's gone on previously. So I'm not sure if that's gonna still continue or not. The G have not confirmed whether that's gonna remain or change at the moment, so things are not quite clear. I would say after this month, from 1st of June, maybe there'll be a new set of rules coming out about visas here in Vietnam, and we'll know a lot more about that. What is the business visa? As I said, the business visa is a visa that for people that are working in Vietnam, and working means you are working with an employer of Vietnam, that you have a company, a proper legal sponsored company. And if you have a proper legal sponsored company, they have to get you a work permit, and there's certain criteria that you have to meet to get your work permit. Like you need a bachelor's. If you're teaching, you need a bachelor's. You need a certificate saying how much work experience you have from your previous employers in your own country. You need a TFL, you know, extra certificates. Police report needs to be done, a health check needs to be done, and stuff like that. So there's kind of like documents and processes to go through to get the work permit. But once you got the work permit, you then can get the TRC, which is temporary resident card, which I think lasts for 2 years, which means it acts as your visa to stay here. And then you can set up a bank account with it, with your work permit and stuff like that. So yeah, man, there are a lot of questions, guys. People are like pumping out these questions to me right now on Facebook as well. So are there any challenges in getting a business visa in Vietnam? Yes, there is. The challenge is that if you don't have certain certificates, you can't get it. But at the same time, if you have money, you can get it. It's all about the ching ching. So things are possible. It's about the ching ching here in Nam. Which is easier to get, a tourist visa or business visa? It used to be that the tourist visa was easier to get, but now that there's kind of been a crackdown, it's kind of made it a bit difficult for people to even extend their visas if they're tourists. Obviously now the business visa is very, very hard to get because of the influx of these illegal immigrants from the north through China border. So the G are like really now pushing down on business visas because those illegal immigrants from China came in, visa agents, you know, gave them visas, then they were caught, and so this whole thing is like major crackdown because of that, because of the outbreak. Some of them brought in the CV from China as well and contributed to the outbreak, so they say. So there's like a huge number of things are happening at once here. Is it easier for some nationalities to get the visa app approved than others? Yeah, it is. I think it is, because if you're going to be an English teacher, if you are a native speaker, they prefer native speakers here from countries like America, Australia, UK, New Zealand, Ireland. They prefer them over countries like some of these European countries, or even some of these South American countries. They prefer. So there's that kind of thing going on. I don't want to go too much into that because, you know, that gets into a lot of arguments to do with color and race and stuff like that. And there's a lot of that happens in some of these job forums and stuff like that. It can get real crazy and out of hand. Okay, let me just check your guys' chats. If you want. Okay. Do you have a Viet girlfriend? UK get 14 days free visa waiver. Yeah, UK get 14 days free visa waiver. Do you have a Viet GF? No comment, no comment. Find a hot Vietnamese girl, marry her, can get marriage visa and TRC, no need to work, only need to ding ding. Yes, yes. So what a lot of foreigners that are trapped here are doing now, because they've had unsponsored business visas, is that they're trying to look for girlfriends. And I saw one ridiculous post where a couple, two foreigners. The guy said, okay, I'm looking for a Vietnamese girl. I want to marry her so we can, so I can stay here. And my girlfriend, she's looking for a hot Vietnam boy. I'm going, what the hell? So yeah, if you marry a Vietnam girl, you actually don't need to get a work permit. You get a work exemption, a work permit exemption. So you become like a local to work here. You get your TRC, everything like that. And yeah, I think that's an option for me for the future. But no comment, no comment. No comment on that. Okay, getting back to the Facebook questions. Man, there's a whole bunch here, man. Holy moly. What do employers in Vietnam look out for on job application CVs? Pretty much they look out for the certificates, BA, bachelor's, your letters of experience from your previous employers. They also want to know about your health, and usually your employer does all that. They help you get all the documents together or pay for your work permit for you and do the process for you. It's quite a lengthy process getting all those documents. If you do if you do get a bachelor's, you need to get that legalized in your country, notarized. Then you need to take it to your to the Vietnam embassy and get that like stamped. If you do a TEFL, like if you do one, say, what is it, the TESOL online course in London, once you finish that course, it's only $34, which is cheap. You do that course and then you can get your certificate certified, notarized. You can get it, you have all the genuine stamps. They send it to the Vietnam embassy, get it all stamped for you, and then they send it to wherever you are around the world. And that's a really good course, guys. That course, it's awesome to do if you guys get a chance to do that course. I'll probably put a link down there somewhere for you guys so you can check that course out. It's a really good course. And so and then you need the health check. If you can get a health check and a police check from your own country, then that'll be helpful. Otherwise, you can get a health check done here in Vietnam at hospitals. You can get police check done. There's a process to getting that all done and sorted as well, which is good. So yeah, keep the questions coming, guys. It's good. So I can try and ask as much as I can about anything about Vietnam in my travels or whatever. You know what I mean? Just be careful. This is the new scam. There are girls who will fake marry you for the visa and TRC in return for cash. Yeah, so there's that too. There is that too. So there's the fake marriage, where they will just marry for cash. I mean, I heard some cases that a Vietnamese girl, she wanted like $1,000 and you can marry her, get your TRC and everything like that and stay here. But then how long is that gonna last? She may apply for like a divorce and then you're stuffed. So yeah, those kind of marriages, man, those spontaneous marriages like that are not guaranteed, and man, you're just losing out on money big time. And then on top of that, you probably get like blacklisted and deported. So yeah, it's quite risky. It's quite risky doing that. Okay, let's look at a few more questions here. As an expat working in Vietnam, is it cost effective and profitable? I tell you what, working here in Vietnam is like a golden gem for people that work here. If you're a foreigner, man, and you work here, it's like you can sit on a gold mine here. As I said, you're making between 4 and 5K a month. And that's, you could be working 6 hours a day, 5 days a week. At like schools, and then on the weekend you could be working at centers, like centers for like 5 or 6 hours a week. So if you look at say 40 hours a week, it's 120. You're getting paid say 20 US. What's that, 240, 2.5. Yeah, so you could be making in New Zealand between 3 to 5,000 New Zealand, which is quite a bit of money because the living costs here are so low. I mean, you could be in like a shared house, have your own bedroom, but you're sharing like the toilet, shower, or you've got a house, there's 3 showers, 3 toilets, a kitchen, Everything's all furnished out. Your room's furnished out. You just bring your own clothes and that's it. But they've got sheets, beds, everything like that. You could be paying something like 40 bucks, 40 US bucks a week, man. And if, with electricity and the internet, you could probably be looking at around 50 to 60 US bucks a week. That's for rent, for your stay in a shared house, electricity, a cleaner that comes, cleans up, um, internet. And the internet here is fast. I mean, I'm on 100 up and 100 down, and it's unlimited cap, so you can download loads of stuff. And so living here is efficient, man, and it's no joke. I mean, I know people that are living here like 500 US a month, man. That's for rent, that's for food, everything. So if you're earning, say, 4,000 US a month, you're spending only 5, man, that's a bit of money that you're holding on to, man. You know, it's a bit of money that you can save and accumulate, and that's what it is. The cost of living is very cheap. Those are the pros. There are some cons to that, and the cons are things like ongoing pollution, the development that's going on in the country. So if you're staying in the city and you're living in, say, the real urban area, you'll get like construction sites next to your house, you know, with bulldozers, or you'll get like women 6 o'clock in the morning on the karaoke. Yes, that is right. 6 a.m. in the morning, they're on the karaoke next to you, singing up a storm, and they turn that shizz right up, man, and they sing flat. They don't care, man. They don't care. You know what I mean? They love turning it up loud and wanting you to hear them sing. And you've got alleys here, and the alleys are so small that the sound reverberates between them, and it carries up to where you are. It's like, man, shut up. You just got to open up the window and go, shut up. It's at 6 or 7 in the morning, man. They like going hardcore. So there are some cons, you know, as I said. You know, there's the air pollution side here, that you got to put up with, the motorbike side here, the congestion. But you get used to that, man. I'm used to that now. I'm used to like dodging through the most congested parts of Hanoi now. You know, you get used to that. You get used to like the pollution. That's why you got to wear a mask in some places, or I check the app to see what the level of pollution is in the city. And yeah, it's just taking precautions and being smart how you navigate your everyday life here. If you can get through that, you can get through those cons. But the pros far outweigh the cons in reality. And that's what I love about it here. And there seems to be a kind of freedom here that you don't really get back in developed countries, which is really good, that I like. You know, the freedom to actually drink out on the street, the freedom, if you're a smoker, to smoke in a bar, to smoke out on the street. Back in New Zealand, you can't drink on the street. If you drink on the street and the police officer sees you, he tries to tackle you, man. He takes you out. So you can't do that back in New Zealand. You can't drink beer out on the street. Here, you can. So these are like little things that are different, that actually far outweigh the cons here. There's quite a bit of pros here. I have no idea how ice cream stays cold when the weather is always 30 35 degrees Celsius. That ice cream melts, man. It melts so quick. You have no idea. Like, you buy ice cream, take it out of the freezer, pay the money, that stuff's already dripping, especially in this humidity. The humidity, that's another con. The humidity. If you are not used to Southeast Asian humidity, man, you're not gonna be pleasantly happy here. But I'm okay. I'm used to it now. I'm used to like being in 30-40 degree weather, and you know, because I got Māori skin, boom, my pigments in my skin, I can just walk out there like that, no worries. The Vietnamese people, though, they don't like the sun hitting their skin. They like to be colored lighter. They like to be light skinned. I think it's just a cultural fetish that they want. But you'll see women who are jumping on their motorbikes at midday. They wear like a ninja suit, fully covered ninja suit, and the weather's like 36 degrees, bearing down hot. They don't care, because they don't like the sun touching their skin, and making their skin darker. They want their skin to look whiter. And I think it's the same in Thailand. There's a perception there. The more lighter skinned you are, the more higher your status is in terms of your job. Because if you're more darker skinned, it's because you work out on the farm and you get more sun. You're a farm worker, so your skin's more darker. So therefore you earn a lot less income. Whereas if your skin is more lighter looking, that means that you stay in an office or a business and you have a really good job, so your status is higher. This is kind of this mentality that's going on, but it's not just Nam, it's all across Southeast Asia. I'm not even sure if it's in Singapore as well. You know, but skin, come on, you know, people just got to get over it. But it's a cultural upbringing. Can't stand it. I'm used to it, man. I love the sun, you know. I don't like staying out too long, but I do love getting out there in the sun, getting some of that vitamin D, whatever you say it is. I love that shizz. And you know, I was brought up in New Zealand, and there we have like 4 seasons in a day, man. I used to deliver milk from a milk truck, and I used to deliver milk through typhoons, through hurricanes, through storms, through lightning, through heat, through sun. So I got used to it, man. I got used to, conditioned to all the weather patterns. That's why I love traveling around the world. I've been to places so cold, you know, that, man, like Japan when I went was really chilly. Then you go to like some of the tropics places, like in the islands, Pacific Islands, like Samoa or Vanuatu. Those places super duper hot. Even I went to Egypt out in the Sahara Desert. Man, that place is hot. But hey, doesn't matter. You know, you get used to that. You condition yourself to it. But culturally here, there is this skin fetish that goes on to do with status, and you'll see it here. Not only here, it's across Southeast Asia. Yeah. So a couple of more questions. How many years of experience do Vietnam employees expect their employer to have before granting them employment? Okay, so there's 2 stages here. There's 2 stages. One stage is that you need a bachelor's degree. With that bachelor's degree, you need 3 years of experience. Now, not many people know this. If you don't have a bachelor's degree, you can actually still get a work permit by having like a TEFL, but with 5 years experience. 5 years experience. I've actually checked it out on the website of the government. They actually say that if you don't have a bachelor's, and then there's a third one, which is that the big boss of immigration, of the Labor Department, will decide. So if you don't have any of those, you may still get approved by the big boss of the Labor Department. So there's actually 3 stages. There's 3 choices that you can fit into. But yeah, the second one there is 5 years experience. You need 5 years experience and a TEFL certificate that is associated to your job, if you're a teacher. Or the first one, which is a bachelor's and 3 years experience. Yeah, I've been to Egypt. Yeah, I went to Africa. I went to Cairo with my cousin. We both went there. We actually done a trip to Europe, but before we got to Europe, we went to Australia first to see our auntie. We went to, where did we go? Dubai. Then we went, but I never vlogged it. That was back in 2015 when I wasn't a vlogger. I want to go back there and vlog Egypt again because I know it's open. That could be a thing that I could do actually, is go there, go back to Egypt when borders open in Vietnam though. And then we went to Egypt from Dubai. We went to, because we had an uncle buried in Alexandria. He went over there during the war, the war, Gallipoli War and stuff like that back in the day, and he passed away over there, and none of the family back in New Zealand went to see him, but he was buried in a in a grave site cemetery in Alexandria. We found it. We found his grave, and that was real touching. I think I actually made a video of it. I have got a vlog, one of my earliest vlogs. I vlogged it. You can see some of my Egypt trips. Let me pull it up, guys, so I can actually have a look and show you that trip. Now post up some more questions if you guys have some more questions to ask me. That would be cool. I can try and answer as much questions as I can for you guys. How long has the stream been going for? About an hour? Yeah, we could go for another hour easily. No problem. I think it's good that I can answer questions about what's going on. I know a lot of people have questions that they want answered and stuff like that. So just pop your questions down in the chat. I've got a lot on Facebook that are asking me right now as well. Okay, so where are my videos, man? Sorry to hear about your uncle. Yeah, he passed away in the war. So we went to see him finally, and my cousin, because she's a woman, my cousin, and she cried her eyes out, man. She cried her eyes out like for a while. But we found him, and you know, and so that was like a really good thing. Then we came back to Cairo. We went to the pyramids. We went to the Nile, the Sphinx, and stuff like that. But I do want to go back because there are some more places back there in Egypt that I want to go back and check out, you know. And I'll be happy to go with others that want to go there too. If people want to go there and check it out, check out Egypt. If you've never been, I've actually got I made a friend back there. His name's Mohammed, and he's my driver, man. He drove us from Cairo all the way to Alexandria. That ride is like a 3 or 4 hour ride, and like, yeah, he came. He took us there, and it cost us like, I think, 20 US bucks each for me and my cousin on his car, air conditioned, to go through the desert and all the military stops and stuff like that. It was pretty. I should have vlogged it. I only like took little bits of video for that, but it was really cool seeing that happen. And then Alexandria was beautiful. We went to like the museum there and that kind of stuff. It was really cool, man. I really enjoyed it, eh? And then he came back and picked us up. But the place is really, really run down, man. I feel sorry for Egypt, man. The place is really run down. It's not what you guys think, man. It's not the big, massive paradise you see. We've got a lot of development to go, and a lot of people are in poverty there, man. It's sad. It's sad seeing the poverty levels there. I'm just going through all my videos, man. I've got lots of videos I've made. I can't believe it. I've made like over, I think, 600 videos. What the hell? Okay, so where is it? Oh, there's my Egypt video. Let me get that for you guys. And I'll put that in the chat. So this is the Egypt video, and I was a lot bigger then. So hopefully you guys can see that. Okay. Why drink beer with ice? It's always watered down. I actually, I used to drink beer here. I would just drink the beer from like the can, you know. Yeah, they do a lot of watering down as well. I've only been to Egypt. I'd love to visit all of Africa one day. Nigeria and places like that. I'd love to visit those places. Some guy told me you need a bachelor degree to get a work permit to be a security guard watching motorbikes for 7 at a 7-Eleven store. Something like that. Yeah, it's crazy. How long are you going to be in Vietnam? How long am I going to be in Vietnam? It depends on if my visa gets approved. Just depends, man. So yeah, I'm just waiting. I'd love to stay here longer because I got plans. I got plans to stay here longer and do some projects here and stuff like that. So we'll see. We'll see. Just depends. You know what I mean? Okay, back to some of these Facebook questions. Man, there's so many, dude. Okay. Okay. Are some nationalities favored more than others in Vietnam in terms of employment and visa renewal? I think we touched on that in terms of, yes, for skills. A lot of skill wise, there are nationalities that are more favored. In terms of speaking and accents, yes, I will say it. There are some that are more advantageous over others. If you're from like a native speaking country and you speak clear English, you will get more hits from an employer than if you were non-native. That goes on. And then there's the skin color thing, but I won't go into that. I'll let you guys draw your own conclusions about that. Do the people in different regions in Vietnam have different cultures and attitudes towards foreigners? Are some regions more friendly than others? Yeah, I touched on that earlier, where I said that, I went to places out in the rural areas and to the countryside, and I found the people there were a lot more welcoming, friendly, non-judgmental than a lot of the people in the cities. And and I said back then that I think it was because of the way in which people are brought up in the city and working and living in the city in terms of the rat race. You've got cheese and there's all the rats around and everyone wants part of that cheese because it's this thing of called perceived scarcity. And the perceived scarcity could be things like a job. There's a job for a computer technician going, they're paying 10,000 US a month, and so everyone will start trying to get that job. So you get maybe 5,000 applicants for one job. That's what I mean. There's a scarcity there. The job is scarce, so there's a perceived scarcity there. So everyone's in this rat race to go and vie for that job. Whereas out in the countryside, people who have little out in the countryside appreciate what they have, what little they have, and they are so friendly. They share what they have, and this is actually part of human behavior. There's a study that actually did that. They found that the people who actually had little or nothing were actually more passionate, more compassionate than people that actually had a lot, where people had massive houses, people had their rich cars, and you can see that. You can see that in society now. You look at places that have rich houses and people driving in their cars. In Vietnam, people love driving their big SUVs. So the street's this big, the SUV's that big, and you've got motorbikes going both ways. The SUV's beeping a song, get out of the way, beep, 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 and it's only him in the car. So that's what I mean. These are the attitudes that I'm talking about. When you have everything, when you have your house, your everything, your behaviors change. And there was a study that studied that. So that's why I love going out to the genuine, to the people that have little, to places that aren't like too openly congested with people. And those places like highland areas, northern Vietnam, even out in the countryside, in the small villages, the people there are so friendly, man. They're cooking there and they offer you what they have. That's, man, it's so heartening seeing that, man. That's awesome. I'm literally working out while listening to your live. It's like a podcast now. Hey, yeah, dude, this is a podcast, man. So I could call it that. I could call it whatever, Q&A podcast or anything like that. Is there any difference in terms of climate in different regions in Vietnam? Yes. So if you go a bit further, you will find when I went, it was slightly more. It depends. When I went north, recently, it was actually a lot more cooler, but when I went south, it was a lot more warmer, and I think it changes. So if you're in a part of the country that's closer to the equator, and it's at a different season of the year, you're going to feel different temperatures than if you're at the northern part of the country. So yeah, there is different temperatures and different weather climates in the different regions in Vietnam. Definitely. What are the procedures to get a work permit? I think we went over that. The procedures are you need to get those certificates, and then you get your employer. Your employer has got to draft up a letter of support and stuff like that. And there's a process that takes place to get that. You can actually Google that and find out about that. How long does a work permit last in Vietnam? Usually 2 years. But if you marry a Vietnamese girl, as I said, you don't need to get a work permit. You actually get a work permit exemption. And so that means you don't even have to have a bachelor's or anything. You can just do the job. You can work. But if you're one that wants to marry a girl spontaneously, man, there could be trouble. So yeah, you got to just be careful. You just got to be careful with that. So yeah. Golden shower versus golden radio voice. This guy. Don't spill too much. The golden radio voice. I actually used to work on radio, so they trained us how to speak. I worked on a radio station in a city called Hamilton in New Zealand. I had my own radio show. It was like a Friday night show, and I used to play hip hop, R&B, dance, 90s. This was back in the 90s, guys, mid 90s. And so yeah, I got trained how to speak on radio, and then I moved on to other radio stations and stuff. And my family, my brother, older brother, he was on a radio station as well, 2 radio stations. My younger brother was on 3 radio stations, and now he's helping build another radio station. So our family are kind of like in the radio station thing, but I took more of the DJ angle, and I like just doing a lot of DJ stuff and DJ work. And yeah, which in Vietnam you actually need to get a work permit to be a DJ in Vietnam, which is weird because some of the bars only need you 1 day a week, you know. It's like weird. But getting back to the what's happened with the internet, guys. We're reconnected back. I hope we're reconnected back. Hope you guys can hear me. I think we had like a little disconnection, but now we're all good in the hood. Yeah, it's like I think a little disconnect. I could see my OBS disconnected for a little, but now it's come back, which is all good in the hood. Yeah, so where was my train of thought at? I couldn't remember where my train of thought at. Retirees, digital nomads, and online freelancers. So there's no actual specific visa for them. So a lot of them came on tourist visas and worked their own business online here. And so even though they were working in Vietnam, but not for Vietnam. So they were making money. Basically, they had businesses back in their own country online. So they would just manage everything here. Actually, I wouldn't call it working. I would call it managing. They were managing their business here, which in turn is them working back in their country. So there was no visa, and a lot of them were on tourist visas doing that. Retirees would want to come here and stay here for a long period of time. And these people contribute to society here. They buy everyday living things. They buy like food, rent, petrol for their motorbikes, you know. And so in a way, you know, you buy stuff from a supermarket, you're actually paying tax. You know, you get taxed on your food, you get taxed on your goods. So you are contributing to the society here. And so a lot of that money is not earned here in Vietnam, but it's spent here in Vietnam. And I think, you know, that's a really good thing for the economy here. Not having a visa for those people, I think, is a little bit crazy, because other countries are going to pick it up. I mean, you got Thailand, that have now created a digital nomad visa. I think for 15,000 US bucks, you can stay for, I think it works out to be 5 years or something like that. and you can do whatever, work your own business here or whatever. So yeah, they've got that going on. So you know, if Vietnam get their shits together, man, they can actually be a really good place to cater for digital nomads, for retirees and online freelancers, you know. But then you've got, say, that market. I don't know what you call it. What do you call it? Sexpats? The sexpats or something in Thailand, where you get a lot of those retirees that go to places, you know, like Bangkok and Pattaya just for the boom boom. You know what I mean? So you get those sexpats specifically for there. But having said that, they're bringing money there. You know, they're paying for that service, and it's a service. And in some cases, it's perfectly legal there in Thailand. So they allow that. You know what I mean? Hey, it's hot outside. Yeah, I haven't been outside and I haven't had lunch yet. I'm about to have lunch very soon. But we're just doing a question and answer session here at K-Moon. So if you have any questions about my travels, about what's going on in Vietnam, go hard, man. Hit away, dude. Hit away. Let's look at some more of these questions on Facebook. Big thanks going out to the ones on Facebook for sending the questions. It's been really, really helpful. Okay, so there's a couple of questions here through this list. I think I've answered most of them, man. What are the things you don't like about Vietnam? I think I talked about that already. I talked about will you be getting the vac? What's it like teaching English here in Vietnam? I think I talked about that. How much does a English teacher make in Vietnam? We talked about that. We talked about the visa situation. Will you be going back to New Zealand anytime soon? Yes, I want to go back to New Zealand to see my family. Miss my family. Haven't been back there since June 2019. And the thing is that if I can't get my visa approved, I will most likely go back to New Zealand. And there's a project back there in New Zealand that I've been wanting to do for ages. And the project, I'll give you guys a bit of a hint at the project, is creating a travel van. So I want to build and kit out a travel van with a bed, with a cooking facilities, a cooker setup, and have like shelving in there for storage, so that I could travel around, sleep in the van, and then I'll take it to my mate who's part of a community group. They can graffiti it up, and I'll have the designs of how I want them to graffiti it up. And that's a project of mine, you know. I might call it the Kiwi bug, or, you know, the love bug, I don't know, whatever. But that's one of my projects, is to go back and to actually travel around New Zealand from this van, create vlogs about New Zealand, and visit places that people don't normally visit. Like I want to visit tree houses or earth ships that people have made houses out of the earth. I want to go to eco villages, check out eco villages and things like that, where there are, you know, really conscious thinking people through society. I want to go and vlog that kind of thing. So that's a project I really want to look at doing if I go back to New Zealand, is to buy a van, kit it out, build it, graffiti it up, and then just travel around and visit all these places, film these places, you know, and if they're lacking money, help them with GoFunds and stuff like that. Doing a lot of community-based stuff. I really want to go back and do that. So yeah, there's a couple of projects that I really want to get rolling and doing. The other option is to head to South America. I really love South America. I want to go back and go there and travel around South America. If I can actually get a van there, I can do a similar thing there and travel around and check out South America. Costa Rica is apparently one of the beautiful places as well. Mexico, and then head over to the islands, you know, Puerto Rico, and down towards South America, you know, into Colombia, Brazil, you know, Paraguay, Chile, Peru, and check out all those countries around there. Which, you know, I got to speak Spanish. I need to speak Spanish because they're Spanish countries. But that's kind of a project that I really want to look at doing, is doing something like that, either in my own country or in another country. I think it'll be a really cool project. So my van will have everything kitted out, have its own cooking, have its own water cylinders, because I know in New Zealand there are springs. I want to visit different springs. You can actually extract the spring water. So I want to vlog all that, you know, and just some of the nature vibes back there. Have you lose or gain weight while in Vietnam? The food's so good and portions smaller. I've lost weight and put on weight. I've lost weight and put on weight in Vietnam. I lost 20 kgs and I think I put on like 5 or something like that. The food is really good. Yeah, food is good. That's why the more I'm active and out vlogging and traveling, you know, I lose a lot more weight. When I'm like here sitting down, it's not good. So after this I'll actually go do some exercise. But yeah, the food here is delicious. It's beautiful, man. New Zealand is where the hobbits, elves and orcs live. It is, yes, it is. I love New Zealand. I love the nature vibes of New Zealand. It's beautiful there. And if you guys ever come there in the future and I'm there, man, I'll host you guys, man. Show you around. I'll cook you some of the local food. Hangi. Hangi is our traditional food there in New Zealand, created by Māori. Māori are the indigenous people of New Zealand. So yeah, that's the plan, guys. That's the plan. I have a plan in place if I'm not here. So all is not lost, you know, and you've just got to adapt to situations, man. You know, everything is in a constant change. The only constant is change. And so if you can adapt to the changes, you will survive. It's not the survival of the fittest, it's the survival of those that can adapt to change. If you can adapt to change, boom, you will survive in this world, man. That's how I look at it. And what's the last question? Will you travel around the world to other countries? Yeah, so I just elaborated on that. You know, with going to South America, because now in Mexico the borders are open in Mexico. You don't need to do a quarantine in Mexico. You do need a PCR test. The flight from here to there is around, I think it's $1,000 one way, which isn't bad, because you've got to go to Japan, then from Japan I've got to go to LA, from LA you got to go down, so there's like 3 or 4 stops you got to do. So yeah, I wouldn't mind doing that, but at the same time I really miss my family, you know, my parents and my siblings, nephews and nieces and stuff. So, and there's some stuff back in New Zealand I need to take care of, like I've got all my DJ gear there, turntables, speakers, I got my gaming computer and all sorts of stuff back there that's just sitting there doing nothing. And I got all my major camera gear. So the camera gear that I use now, I'll show you guys. Give me one sec. Because this camera that I'm using here is a stream camera. This is the camera that I actually use. It's a GoPro 8 for the vlogs. And then this is the receiver, and this is the transmitter for the mic. So I put that on, and then I can be like 100 meters away, so the camera can be in one place and I can be 100 meters away, and it can still pick up my audio through the transmission, which is really good. So that's what I've been using. But I've actually got a Canon 70D. It's like a massive camera, one like what Casey Neistat uses, but I need to sell that because I don't use it anymore. And I actually want to start using my iPhone XS Max. I want to start using that because the video on this at 4K 60 FPS is brilliant. So I was thinking of actually trying to get that to actually hook that on, so it's like that. You can see the money there, and using that, and then I need an attachment to put the external mic on, so I can use the external mic on my iPhone XS Max. I was thinking of buying like another camera, but I prefer actually using this XS Max now. I love the GoPro, but it's crap in low light. It's crap in low light, the GoPro. And what YouTube are doing now, you may see some of the videos are quite grainy or pixelated. It's because it's YouTube that are downgrading the videos. It's not the quality of the video I'm shooting at. So I render the videos at around 1080p. The latest ones I've been rendering at 4K or 2K and uploading them. And what YouTube does is YouTube downgrades them. Because you're not a big YouTuber, they need to save space, so they downgrade your YouTube video. So especially video in the video parts where I'm driving on the bike, you'll see a lot of pixelation and graininess. It's because YouTube have downgraded that video. There is a way around it, which I'm doing now, and that's uploading videos in 2K, and then they change the filter. So the filter they use now is a VP1 filter, but if you actually upgrade to 4K and upload 4K or 2K, it becomes a VP09, and VP09 is actually the filter that is used for all the big streamers. So I found a way around it. So, but the problem is when you upload a video, say on Monday, in your 2K, they actually won't give you access to that 2K video until the Wednesday. It's like 24 hours later that you get the quality of the video, which sucks. So you're only in SD quality or HD quality until the 4K or 2K quality comes out. So it's YouTube. It's YouTube. So I apologize if you see some of the videos and the grade on the video looks grainy or pixelated. It's not me. It's YouTube. Okay. What's the name of the place you stay at New Zealand? So I stay in a place called Auckland, New Zealand. That's where I stay. It's the biggest city in New Zealand. I was born and bred in that city. My parents are there. My extended family and that are all there. I have moved away and I've stayed on a farm just south of Auckland, and I've stayed in Hamilton, which is a city south of Auckland. I've stayed in different places around. But if I go back to New Zealand, I will most likely just get a van, fit it out how I want it, spec it out, graffiti it up, and then just travel around and sleep in my van. Because there are, in New Zealand, we have what we call rest areas where you can park up, you can rest there, or you can go to a beach, you can sleep at the beach, or you also have camping sites that you can pull up in, which have like showers, toilets, water, kitchen, and you can use that, and it can be like $5 a night to stay there. So it's just wise to do that, and then I can just work online. I prefer just to work online, and then work on my vlogs and stuff like that, and do a bit of traveling around. Depends on how long I'm gonna go back there. If things don't work out here, that's the plan. So if things do work out here, then yeah, I probably will stay here for a while, but I will travel around Vietnam a little bit more, and I will do some more meaningful vlogs. There are places actually I want to go to, like some bamboo huts, some tree houses and stuff like that, and I want to meet some conscious thinking people here in Vietnam, and do a lot more vegan and vegetarian food, even pescatarian food vlogs for you guys, because I know you guys want that. So yeah, if there's any topics that you guys want me to like film in the future about Vietnam, list them down, man. If you want me to do like things about what's the gaming community like for Street Fighter 5, show us a tournament, I'll vlog a next tournament, offline tournament or something like that. Just tell me what you guys want to check out, and I'll do that, if I'm back here in Vietnam. What do you do in Vietnam for work and get your work permit? At the moment, I'm teaching here in Vietnam. So yeah, you can teach here like for schools, but you can't work for them directly. You have to go through a management agency that manages teachers. So you could be part of a management group that say looks after 100 foreign teachers, and that group, they are the ones that take care of your work permits, they take care of your scheduling, what schools you go to, and they are the ones that are dealing directly with the schools. So a management group could be like they could have 200 schools, and they've got like 100 teachers or whatever. So they will work out the schedule for you to go to different schools and teach at different schools. They will work out the curriculum and the lesson plans, what you need to teach. And pretty much you just go there and you just follow the lesson plan pretty much. It's pretty simple, pretty easy, man. I've been in some places where they don't even have a lesson plan and you just got to whip it up, but that's where experience comes in. I've even been to places where, I used to go to mum noms, which are kindergartens, and they didn't even have any speakers, no flashcards, no nothing. I've got a whole bunch of flashcards here, man. I've got toys here, like you get all these different hammers, magnets, fishing magnets, all these different games for the kids. It's good to have all those things here because they help. They help with your and you look more professional. That you're providing stuff that they should be. That they go, wow, this guy's got it all. And then you just, even your speaker, you got your own speaker. So, and then it's good if you, like, I usually play a song first when I first start teaching at a mum non in kindergarten. Get the kids active and up and running. So it's good to know some of the YouTube songs, like the shark song, which is funny, or the head, shoulders, knees and toes songs. All these cool kids songs, and it's real fun. I try and keep it as fun as possible, and then the teachers see that, and the parents see that, and then they give feedback to your employer, and then you're on. Had another little disconnect. Sorry about that, guys. Let's go to Japan together, bro. Yeah, K-Moon. We can go to Japan, bro. Let's go. No problem, man. I'm there. Borders open in Japan. Borders open in Vietnam. Let's go. I mean, I've been there before, so I know what it's like. I know how to get around. I know the cost of things, the places to go. I really want to go to places I haven't been to. The major places I haven't been to is in the north of Japan. I want to go there, and in the south of Japan. Further down, like to Hiroshima, Okinawa Island. I want to go there to Okinawa, check out some of the history. And then up in the north of Japan, some of the places where they have like a lot of agriculture, but also a lot of nature vibes up there in the north. I forgot the name of the area. Just let me quickly look at that area. It was a place that I really wanted to go to. Hokkaido, I think it is, or Hokkaido. I think it's called Hokkaido. Yeah, it's Hokkaido. Those are the places I want to actually to check out in Japan, like Hokkaido. So got some really awesome nature vibes there that I want to check out. Actually, Hokkaido is a island. It's like a little island. Yeah, so I do want to check those vibes out, and a few other vibes around Japan. But I mean, I made vlogs of my trip to Japan. I think I made like 22 videos from Japan, Tokyo, Mount Fuji. You can check all those out, guys, in my vlogs there. Have you heard about the place because of cricket? Auckland, guess I have heard. Yeah. New Zealand is good for cricket, man. And I know India is good at cricket. Good sports, popular sport. Cricket is a popular summer sport in New Zealand, and I know it is in Vietnam, India as well. They love cricket there. Between Vietnam and New Zealand, where would you prefer to live the rest of your life, bro? I do love Vietnam. It is like my second home. I don't know, man. I can't answer that question at the moment. I think for me, it just depends on where I'm at the time. At the moment, I'm happy here in Vietnam, and I will say this: the Earth is my country. I will leave it at that. The Earth is my country, so I would stay wherever my intuition takes me. If it takes me to New Zealand, cool. If it takes me to Mexico, cool. If it takes me back here to Vietnam, cool. I can't say definite, between New Zealand and Vietnam. Where would I prefer? I feel like he would rather travel than to just stay in one country. Yeah, I love traveling. I love traveling. I love experiencing new cultures, food, checking out the nature vibes. Olympics in Japan will be crazy for Corona. It will, but they are not allowing spectators into the games, so it's just going to be athletes. And I think that they're designing the structure of Tokyo in a way where you are going to be separated, from other athletes in certain areas. Whether you're staying in certain areas, whether you're running on the tracks, it could be you got to wear a mask for the 100-meter sprint, which is weird. Yeah, the Olympics is going to happen, man. Yeah, it's going to happen. Yeah, Akihabara. Akihabara is a very popular place in Japan. Lots of anime, or how do you say it, anime, whatever it is. Um, Gaming, PCs, laptops, technology, cameras, it's all there. And they've even got those maid cafes with the short skirted maids that, all make up and dolled up and welcome you, and they try and host you. But one thing about Japan is it's so freaking expensive, man. So freaking expensive, that place. I mean, what you buy in one day in Japan, you would actually probably buy in a month in New Zealand. That's how expensive it is. Or you would spend what you spend in 1 month in Vietnam, you'd actually spend one day in Japan. Japan's just so expensive, man. But it's very developed. That's the thing. So, yeah, it's a bit of a fine line there. I think we've got a couple of more questions, guys, and then we're going to call it a stream. Got some peeps that are sending me questions. What will the outcome be from this whole visa situation currently happening in Vietnam? I honestly don't know, but I would say that this whole situation will blow over. I'm sure it's going to blow over very soon. I mean, people have said that they've been in similar situations in China. This has happened before in Vietnam as well. So this whole thing will just blow over. It's just a matter of those that can actually persevere and stay and try and navigate through all the noise of it will remain here, and they'll probably bring out some new legislation or something like that, but it'll kind of go back to normal, because in the long run, if they keep doing what they're doing here, it's going to hurt Vietnam. There are expats and foreigners that have access to social media, and they have their own YouTube channels, so they're going to create content there that's not going to look or put Vietnam in a good light if they boot them out. So that's the thing what Nam has to be careful of. So you can't boot out everyone left, right, and center, man. There's gonna be kickback. There's gonna be kickback, man. So and there are some loads and loads of online freelancers, vloggers, YouTubers, man, that have big followings and stuff. And it's going to create a bad image for Nam if they keep this up. And I mean, if it reaches back into countries' media, and those media outlets in those countries get a hold of it and write articles, it's going to get out into the public in their country, and then if it gets out in that country, it's going to put a bad light on Nam. So they do need to stop what's going on now, man, and clear it up as soon as they can. Otherwise, it's not going to look good for the future of Nam, and it's going to be even a more slow recovery for tourism. And people go, oh, but tourism only makes up a small portion of the economy. Okay, you say that to the people that have to stop their stores in tourist places, that have to stop working in the tourist places because there's no tourists. I mean, you saw when I went to Bangkok Waterfall, all those empty stores there. I walked right through that whole like walkway that had stores that would usually be open, but there's no one there. There's no tourists. I was the only tourist there, and those locals that would normally be there selling stuff, they're losing our money. They're losing our income for their families to survive. Businesses have been shut down. You know, tourism, man, is taking a dive. People don't see that because they're not out there. They're not seeing it for their own eyes. It's all only hearsay. It's not until they get their butt out there and they actually see in the real world, like me, what's actually going on with your own eyes, do you actually understand, holy shit, there are people that aren't working and people are suffering. Major suffering going on. So yeah, that's why I like experiencing things myself and not just hearing it hearsay. You know what I mean? I think we're going to wrap it up, guys, because I need to go and eat something. But post below any questions for future. I will do maybe another one tomorrow if you guys are keen. I can do another one tomorrow. We can talk about any other topics. You guys just ask questions down below. I can give you more updates about what's happening. I know this is like a long stream for you guys, but thank you guys for coming in and, you know, chatting and putting your questions to me, and for all those through Facebook that have been sending me questions, thank you guys as well. Yeah, so keep tuned in, and this is what I say to people that are here in Vietnam that are having this like massive situation, this critical situation that's going on for you in your visa situation. Hang in there if you can. You know, go with a legit sponsored company, an agent, reputable agent if you can, and get whatever you need to get sorted out as soon as possible. And just at the same time, don't stress too much, man. You know, worst case scenario is that you leave, fine, that's cool. You know, don't get too stressed about it. I know it's inconvenient at this time, but you've got to adapt, man. And if you can adapt to change, you will survive. And I would say have a plan in place. Have 2 plans in place. What would happen if you stay here? What would happen if you are told to leave? What happens if you're told to leave tonight? What happens if you're told to leave in a month's time? Have a plan of action in place so that you can take, you know, some stress off you, I would say. But and be appreciative of what you have right now. I think people need to understand and appreciate what they have right now. If you're in a place where you've got food, where you've got actually money, where you've got drinking water and stuff like that, appreciate that. Anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you guys for tuning in. Send me some more questions in the chat if you guys have any more questions. Thank you everyone for contributing towards the stream today and the question and answer session. And yeah, we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out, guys. Peace.